Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you a couple new builds I've been working on. One obviously is a mech over here. So I lost all my blueprints on my hard drive. Long story, I had to reinstall the game and I screwed up something when I made a backup copy of my blueprints folder. So I had a little prop mech I used in some screenshots before and I lost it. And I wanted to build a new one. So I ended up with this. Now I showed it briefly on the last look at the workshop video. I just had a little bit of the legs started on that, and I was actually, I think I said I may abandon it, but well, I decided not to abandon it and to kind of complete the build here, at least with the block work so far. So I ended up with this, and just to go over a couple things on it, what I was trying to pull off here is to make it look like the legs were like almost like a bone joint, so like so they could angle in or out. Essentially, if this thing was walking or able to walk in with actual physics and things like that, if this leg lifted up to like take a step forward, you would have to put all the weight onto the other leg on the other side, and which would have to like twist the legs in and out a little bit, maybe even twist the upper hull a little bit to get all your weight distribution over here. And that's what I was trying to accomplish with the blocks over here to make it look like it could actually do that. Now, one other feature on this thing that it was supposed to look like it was going to be able to do is to independently swivel the top part of this away from the base where the legs connect. And the front kind of pulls that off, sort of. But the back, I totally like dropped the ball on it. It's all like one section over here with no like anything that looks like it would swivel from the top to the bottom. So it kind of like breaks that whole idea. So I was looking at this after I kind of did the block work on it, and I was like, yeah, I really had to mess with that a little bit. And then I was looking at it a little bit more, and I thought, well, you know, these upper legs over here look a little on the skinny side. Like maybe I could bulk that up a little bit too, and try to make it look a little cooler that way. Well, anyway, let's go to the next version, and that is here. So this one I probably put another hours of time into trying to work all that stuff out. So to start with, I did bulk up the upper legs. They're a little thicker, add a little bit more armor up over here. Added some little armor things down over by the feet. But the main part that I was messing with is the back side, and I try to make this whole unit look like it's separated from the top to so it could independently swivel. And then I changed how the block work was. Rather than this kind of egg-shaped roundy pattern going over there, I changed it to I don't know, something a little more rigid, like a bumper with a swivel plate on the top, basically. So, yeah, this version here, I think the block work is pretty much set on it. Now, I also got this one to fly. I put a bunch of little thrusters in the legs for your 6-direction flight, so 1x3 ion thrusters in there. And, of course, it has real guns on here. The biggest guns being these rocket launchers. There's 2 per side, so 4 total. These are the heavy variants. Rocket launcher pod heavies right over there. Beyond that, it has 6 turrets. You got 4 on the top side and a couple on the sides. You got 2 GATs, and it's got 4 laser guns down over here for like shield takedown and things like that. So I got it to this point, and now on the inside, nothing's really been done in here. So we got our core. I added some fuel tanks and a couple 1x3 generators. That's the only real parts in here, just enough so I could fly it. Then I was like, I wonder what the CPU is going to be like already. So I look at this and I'm like, oh my God, really? Already? I'm like, I don't exactly know what this translates to. I would have to like throw in cores, and I'm pretty sure it's above core 9 already. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. I gotta dump all the cores in here and figure out where it all comes out on SVs at again. But if it is above a core 9 already, and I think it is, that's scary. I mean, this doesn't have a shield in it. It's built of steel. It has crap for thrusters. It has, you know, some guns, but it doesn't have that many guns. I guess you have some big guns back over here with those, but Yeah, it just seems like it's really off the charts with CPU already. Um, and I've been seeing that trend too. Looking at the workshop videos every week, when I do see a like a tank or a fighter kind of SV that's actually meant for like in game business and not just trying to look pretty. Um, every time I see one, they're like Core 17, and they're not even maxed out. They're like missing optional shield parts and more guns, and they're already at Core 17. And I see why, because it seems like the CPU numbers, in my opinion at least, and granted I have to do more research before I can really come to a conclusion on this, is it seems like it's way too insanely expensive CPU wise for these things. Um, Maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I just I don't really like that balance. It seems like you're so limited on what you can do with HVs and SVs. And in gameplay too, another way to look at it too is I'll look at like an HV or SV in the combat role as some kind of secondary creation, not near as important as like my main CV or CVs. Like my main base CV, that would be like I'd have a high priority on that, especially combat CV if it was all in one. It's your main ship plus your combat. And, I could see grinding for all the quantum auxiliary cores and stuff to build that up. But man, to do it for one of these, no, these things are like disposable. And to me, it just seems like it would be far too much effort and work to even bother in game to have a decently well equipped HV or SV for a combat role. I don't really have any problems with the miners for HVs or SVs. It's just once you get into the combat stuff and wanting the shield and enough worthwhile guns to do some decent damage to what you're attacking, it seems like the numbers ramp up so bad that you really can't do much of anything. And if you manage to get something that works pretty good, it's probably going to be like Core 17, which is a lot of in-game grinding to get all that stuff to build that. And that kind of sucks too. So yeah, there's just something, to me, I just feel like the numbers don't feel good at all when it comes to combat role HVs or SVs. They just seem ridiculously too expensive with CPU. That's just my opinion. I wanted to throw that out there, see if anybody has any comments on that too. That's just an observation on my side. So moving on from this build, I got another new thing here too. And this is for the challenge this month. Was to build a ship from the Stargate verse, which, to be honest, I was completely unfamiliar with. I didn't know they had much in spaceships in Stargate. I knew there was a flying pyramid thing, and since I've seen Stargate Universe, the TV series, I knew there was that ancient ship that was pretty cool. And I've seen someone build that before. But beyond that, I really didn't know there was much in ships in Stargate. I keep in mind, I did not watch Stargate SG-1 or Atlantis, so that's a big chunk of it that I didn't see. So anyway, I went up online and looked up Stargate ships on Google and looked at various pictures of a bunch of stuff out there. And most all of them are fan-based builds. Like, I don't think many of these were actually in any of the shows or anything like that, but there's hundreds of different ship designs, but it's like they're all fan-made ones, concept ships and stuff like that. So I based this ship design on one of those, sort of loosely following it, and I believe it's a type of carrier design. And I was trying to kind of follow what I was seeing on a picture from a certain angle. I think this front view here, something like that. Now, this is missing parts to it yet. One, it's supposed to have a bridge section, kind of offset to one side, out in this general area over here. But yeah, I got it to this point here, and I'm worried that it's not going to work very well as a ship, or at least parts of the ship. And what I'm getting at is I've got these hangars in here, and the actual designs out there had this very angular hanger opening. And so I kind of was setting this up to be like that. But then if we look at the other side where I got the doors open already, it's not big enough to work well. And that's a problem. There's only 4 blocks from here to the top. And these are interfering with those blocks. So legitimately, there's only like 2 blocks here unobstructed by something in your way, like the lips of those ramps in there, which is like, yeah, good luck flying anything and parking it in there. So that's kind of a problem with this build right now. Is this it's basically it's too small of all things. Now it's not that tremendously small of a ship or anything like that, but compared to what I seen in the concept art pictures, it is dinky. The other ones are probably 4, 6, 8 times bigger than this at scale, which would make these a whole lot different. But at this scale that I'm trying to do this on, it seems to be not very cool. not very cool for the function. Now, granted, this would probably be some type of carrier, and in Empyrion, you could obviously have a nice big old hangar back over here if you had like your rear mount or rear access door and things like that. So it could work that way, but these side things, which look like they were supposed to be the main hangars, are incredibly too small right now to be able to function, I think. Also, the ship had kind of like a roundy bit kind of thruster design, like something like this. In fact, I think it had like a third one in the middle as well. At least the one that I was basing some ideas on here. But this is kind of where I'm at with it. And again, it's for the Stargate challenge. I just have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to complete it in time since it's already the 19th and it's probably due in a few days. So that's going to be kind of rough. And I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with this thing here yet. Basically, I think to give it justice, to make it work right for Empyrion, at least in the back section, I would have to make the thing bigger, like scale it up. So these are like legit like hangar openings and stuff like that. And that's kind of a problem because then I would be dealing with a pretty good sized ship, probably, getting up there far past size class 10, maybe into the 20 range on it if I scaled it up from where it is now at least. That's a significant build to do, especially if I'm trying to get it done in days, which I don't think is going to be possible. So I'm not sure how I want to proceed with this project yet. I'm trying to think about that a little bit. If I want to keep on going with this particular design, or maybe latch on to some other smaller thing to try to pull off. I'm not sure yet, but I just wanted to show you both and get any opinions or feedback or anything like that on these two different builds here. Now the mech is a whole lot closer to being complete. It needs a paint job and texturing and all that stuff, and it needs the interior space built out and working. And this one I probably will just put right out to the workshop as well. I know I'm building it more or less for a just something to look at, especially maybe include it in the distance on some screenshots or something like that. But I'm also trying to make it legitimately sort of work. Like you could use it in game, but I will warn you. It'll look dumb. Unless it's sitting on the ground like it is right now, it looks stupid. It just flying around, and it's just gonna look like some stupid cartoon or something. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but because it can't walk, obviously, so you're gonna be flying around with the legs out, and it'll be like doing maneuvers that it could not possibly ever do, and it just looked kind of dumb. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. I just wanted to show you these two builds here that I've kind of started up. Now, something I do want to do, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow, more of a streaming video. I do want to build I lost my landing pad too for my look at the workshop videos. That I called it the Anvil XL landing pad, it's gone. It's toast. I think some other people have it, so I could probably get that back. But I just kind of want to build a new one. I've been using that for years and years, and it's was never really built for what I'm using it for anyway. Basically a display pad, not really a landing pad. I just want something that looks nice enough, and hopefully less size class than what that one was, because that was up there around size class like 16 or something like that, just for that landing pad. And most of the size class was because of the leg structure below it, which honestly, because of its size, it didn't work anyway. So you basically just can't really use it in gameplay. It's just a display pad, so why bother having all the size class for the legs below there and screw up performance when you try to look at other builds that are sitting on top of it. So there is that too. So other than that, yeah, let me know what you think, and y'all have yourself a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.